A lot of
I
romance?
constantly see. No, she's got like authors. I'm sure they are romance. I'm not sure, but authors that she buys that. I mean, I see $5.99, $6.99, 99 charges coming through like 4 or 5 a day
Wow, Jesus.
through Kindle. So I'm like, are you reading all these books? I can't get mad at her because I
Yeah.
fucking buy shit all the time too. So
I'm also we're streaming too right now, so anybody want, like, we're not doing the episode, but if people want to come for the pre-show, I feel like they can. So if people show up early,
Show, stay for the show.
that's right.
yeah. So I'm also doing. I'm trying to get. There's an indie. Like Audible will also produce your book if someone bites on it. So I've also put it out in the. It's called the ACX, the audio something exchange. So hopefully I'll get somebody to do the audiobook version as well. That'd be awesome.
Don't you have an audio book? I've listened to a couple of chapters on our Dropbox where you started it.
Yeah, I only did like the first 6 chapters. That shit is really time consuming. So I'd much rather somebody else do it.
I'll do it. They want to hire me. I'll read your book.
Okay. I would love that. If you would sit down and read, they estimated that it would be a 12.5-hour book. So
Hey, so I also thought of a cool idea would be is if like not couple weeks away we'll you and Drew and we should interview T. Blake Braddy as the Horrible Podcast, not with Tyler.
No. We should actually all 3 of us interview
T. Blake Braddy.
that'd be fun.
I think it'd be fun. I'd like to give T. Blake Braddy the business.
Get, like with the hard hitting questions.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for buying the book. That means a lot.
No, absolutely.
I was excited. It was fun.
really thought it was like when I got it, I was like, shit, this is a big book. I thought I was gonna be able to get done with this in like a couple of days. I want to spend some time with this thing.
I didn't know Tyler knew that many words.
And it says part 1. I gotta get committed now. When's he? I know has he even started part 2?
Yeah, I've got the first draft done.
Sweet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm hoping over Christmas break I'll be able to sit down and read one of the 8,000 books I have.
Yeah.
And that one is at the top of my queue.
Yay!
That one and another one I've got, which is a sequel to this guy who already wrote a book, and it's his
Stephen King.
That I know. No, this guy I know as well, because like those are the ones I want to put at the top, or ones of people I actually know.
Well, that means a lot to me.
Although revival is on the
that's next for me.
I have my to finish Mouse. Mouse.
That's good.
I'm gonna finish that probably tonight or tomorrow, and then I'm gonna do the audiobook on the way to Virginia. I'll probably do either Mr. Mercedes or Revival.
I love that. I vote Mr. Mercedes. That book is fucking amazing.
And then I'm gonna read Tyler's book when I'm up in Virginia for Thanksgiving. So.
I can read it to you if you just call me.
All right, Tyler, do you have 12 hours you can spare? Just talk to me on my trip. To Virginia is 9 hours, so if you want to read to me,
just call me. I'll get a glass of water and we'll go.
That's all I need. Just water.
Just a glass of
Brian,
water.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired of talking.
I've still got 2 more hours to go. I got 2 more hours to drive.
So yeah, it's
I haven't
it's
even
really
started
exciting.
masturbating yet.
I didn't respond. Like I had to change a few things. I rewrote the back book flap copy and made some last minute changes. So Brian, you have an outdated version of the book.
A collector's edition.
Yeah, kind of. So if you want to trade out, it's just like Josiah read the whole thing. He read a proof, and like there are just a couple things. Like when my editor went through it, he like some of the editing marks still showed up, so I had to just go through and delete some of those. Like just minor things, like little red lines between words, and like just super minor things. But I had to fix those, so the manuscript is done. But
No, I like that. I like that. I have a collector's edition.
you do, and I'll sign that. So like, I'm not saying I'm gonna be. If anyone ever cared about this book, then you'd be like, I had one before thing.
Hey, you know, I mean, you never know. This shit, nobody. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
And I will be brutally honest in my Amazon review. Don't fret.
Thanks.
I will.
Please.
Hey,
don't.
I appreciate you putting thank you. Give me a shout out in the thank yous.
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't know the author. But
I may be biased, but this guy blows.
It's why I never read independent book reviews, because I'm like, this is your sister writing this. Like, I've read a lot of books in my life, and this is a 5 out of 5 for sure.
I didn't think I'd like it because I usually don't like books like this. But
well, it means a lot.
House letters.
It means a lot to me. I'm very flattered by all the attention I've received.
Cool.
So
when's your AMA?
That'd be awesome.
Have
If
you
anyone
posted
gave a
it
shit,
to Reddit? Like, have you told people on Reddit? Like, have you gone, hey, look, I just published this book.
I'm kind of scared of doing that.
Brian's about to do it right now. You realize?
Like,
I'm not doing that. I wouldn't.
it makes me want to bite my fingernails. The idea of me putting it out in front of those assholes, like, hey, because they even have a wrote a book subreddit, but no one ever comments on it, which might even be worse than people going like, I read it and hated it. Fuck you.
I've never commented on one of these, but
Yeah, but this book is so shitty.
I never thought it would happen to me, but a friend wrote a book.
Yeah. So the thing with I tried not to. I was going to not say that the actually paperback book was ready to go, but Kay's like, you have to, like, it's published, like, you have to tell people. Plus,
Yep.
it would take shipping. I also thought it would take longer to ship. I thought that they would have to like Gutenberg the press out of that motherfucker, and like, but no, like 3 days later it showed up. So
Brian's seen
Just
it.
so you know, it says our channel is off air. While I'm looking
right
at it.
now,
Yeah.
I also am going to go
Same
ahead
stream.
and see. I finished that book before you.
Oh, is that right? Because
Yeah.
I'm.
Oh, and you've got it already. That's what I'm saying.
I have it.
You have a till
Let me lay
December
out-
3rd head start.
Let me lay out my Thanksgiving holiday. I have. Of course,
Oh, that is right. Thanksgiving. You might get me.
I do have the family to deal with. I do have 10 more submitted films, 6 of which are full length. I have to
Ooh,
watch
wow.
over the week, and just so I can stay ahead of whatever else may come in.
Right. Yeah.
And listen to me. I'm like, the film fest. Hey.
Oy vey.
the write up in Variety, right?
Yeah. Well,
About Boogie House.
no. Well, Chattanooga Film Fest got mentioned because Chris and
Really?
Amy
Cool.
Darling have a company called Good Film
It's-
Fund.
I pulled it up on the app, on the Ustream app, and it's live.
Okay, because I'm on here right now.
It's
and-
prob-
okay. Here it goes. It's going now.
Okay,
Ooh,
cool.
Look,
I just had to check.
Tell
Apple
Gina-
TV. That
tell
shit.
Gina to put it on Apple TV.
She can watch us.
That's awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and.
So, but
tweet.
yeah, Chris and Amy Darling have a. They started a little offshoot of the film fest. They're both of their film festivals called Good Film Fund, where they've backed a couple projects.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
So I guess I might read that other guy's book and then Tyler, since I still have till December to go. Since I'm one of the
Drew, you're
I'm
gonna
one of the
be-
unlucky few.
You're gonna beat me on the.
I still think I will,
book
but
reading.
we'll see. We'll see.
You won't even get yours till December 3rd.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I'll beat you because I'm going to read it on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Unless I get really
We'll
bored,
see.
then I'm going to be like, fuck this guy.
The formatting stuff is really weird. Like, the book looks great on iPad and regular Kindle, but for some reason the Kindle Fire, like, the formatting looks fucked up. There's no way you can go in and like individualize it. You can't say, like, I want it to look different for the Kindle Fire.
Well, good thing I have a paper white.
I tell you what,
Thankfully.
Drew, once you get that digital file,
Paperback white.
I'm going to log in as you and steal Tyler's book on Calibre.
It's only 99 cents if you buy the
A little
paperback
taste of
edition.
his own medicine there.
If you buy the paperback edition, the Kindle version's only 99 cents.
Oh, so since I
I wish
bought
I'd
it?
known that before I bought the.
Yeah, because I could totally have given you a 99-cent
Well, no.
download.
I was just gonna say I would have bought.
Hey, who's the better friend? I paid like $14 for my book.
Yeah. You guys are both good.
I pre-ordered
Friends of
as soon as I saw I could.
I was waiting for the hard copy. Get in on this.
The hard copy?
Hard copy.
The dick copy.
Dilk.
What I wish we had like an actual. I wish I could remember our stream. Like I wish it was easy.
I can send it to you.
I think from the
notes.
app I can just share it. Like let's see. Boom. Nope.
Do you have any copies of the book you could hold up right now?
Well, Kate's is in the bedroom
Is that-
because she's
is it
reading
that-
it.
You can hold it beside your face.
I know. No, but
I keep all of our links handy.
good. Oh, cool.
All of our Jack links.
Yes.
Yum. So
Become the unofficial like link holder for the film festival too. So I'm always like, do you have this? Yes, here it is.
You're always holding links.
I'm always.
I'm thinking about buying a poster to put on the wall behind me of the horrible podcast logo, and just have it right there.
That'd be.
It's better than that hole.
I know. I know.
I do hate that the closet door's shut now though, because how will we ever see the Babadook coming for you?
No.
Right.
Our stream.
Or all your other fears.
And I do want that dog to come in again with the door and open the door.
Mimi's not here. The cat. There's a good chance the cat will burst in, but
Where's Mimi?
Mimi is up at her grandmother's house.
Oh.
Mimi goes on trips.
Yeah, Mimi goes on like daily trips.
Uh-oh.
So what are you playing right now, Tyler?
I am playing. I'm contemplating buying Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
You know how hard it... Listen,
I got Borderlands the pre-sequel because it was on sale on Amazon.
fucking Grand Theft Auto 4 with the new first person.
I know.
I'm like, oh, I wanted to text you guys. Like, I figured we'd talk about it anyway, but that and Far Cry 4 are really like...
I might buy it on PC
Just waiting
tonight.
for Black Friday sales. I'm gonna snatch up some games on some Amazon.
Oh, and I don't know if you guys care about this or not. Super Smash Brothers on Friday, so...
Yeah. I've looked at some Wii U deals, and I just can't. I have so little time to play right now.
If you ever
looked at Xbox One deals,
if you ever get a free moment, you can always come in and fight Jackson and I, so Jackson can hand you your ass.
I'm sure
since he hands me my ass all the time in PlayStation Battle All Stars.
I will.
I think that's something we have to call DFAX about.
If you are to bring back some Jigglypuff, I would
Jigglypuff's in there.
Destroy some people with that little sleep move. Oh man, I got so good at that. I would fall asleep on your ass so fast.
What is this, my real life? 'Cause that's how I do.
And it would shoot you off the screen, and then you'd be so pissed because you just got beat by Jigglypuff.
I have finally started liking Alien Isolation though. I didn't like the first 2 hours of that game. I hated it.
I'm kind of if you see a deal of that one pop up, let me know because I've been thinking about buying
It's fun.
it.
Isolation.
Yeah.
Once you get there are just a couple spots early like some. What happened to me that made me hate it was that there are parts where if you linger for too long and like enemies, the looters end up in an area where you are,
right?
You have to restart the fuck. I just had to restart a level and just like rush through this one part because I got caught and there was no way I could get through there without being noticed, and they just fucking killed me. And I played like 3 hours of it. Like, how do I get past this?
It's lame sometimes when you get to those parts where
it sucks. So like if you can just buy into the idea that like there are some parts that are just old school where you might have to restart and your save is fucking meaningless, then I guess do that. But yeah, so it's fun though. I've been playing some Borderlands. I have Borderlands Evil Within and Alien Isolation, but I've been reviewing games, so I can't play not games I've been reviewing. So
right, yeah. I get that. That's what I was wondering, is what you've been playing based on that.
I've been playing this other game called Damned. It's pretty fun. It's an asymmetrical multiplayer game where
Children of the Damned. Is it that one?
Yeah, nothing on sale right now. That's what I was looking at in case anyone's
Black Friday's gonna be crazy though. I'll be on my Steam app the entire time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm
CPAP.
Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. I wish that some of the new stuff would go on sale already. Now that I have a PC that plays stuff, I'm like, go on sale.
A lot of it will though over Black Friday. That's the thing. Like Amazon, I'm already guaranteeing. I don't think there's been an Assassin's Creed game I haven't bought during a Black Friday sale on Amazon.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna
Steely Dan's Black Friday when you buy it.
No, I could.
When Black Friday comes.
I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet and get Far Cry 4. I know that I'll play the entirety of that game.
I've heard like people refer to it as Far Cry 3.5, which I'm fine with.
That.
I liked Far Cry 3 a lot.
Me too.
Well, the complaint is old to me that every sequel has to be revolutionary because sometimes some of the play styles and the things that they adapt to the first time, that last game are adequate.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you do need a makeover because you've had the same game 3 times over. And like Borderlands is about to get that point, I think. Yeah. We had the first, we had the second one. This one, it's about time. And I'm not saying it's a bad formula. They just got to figure something else to add to it, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because right now it's really awesome. It's like a first person Diablo, and that's a pretty awesome.
Have you played any of it yet?
No, but I mean, for everything I've read, it's pretty. I've read the stuff because you're on the moon at parts.
Yeah.
And I've heard more complaints about that than anything.
I like it. I think
Do you?
It's kind of neat that they added something else that you can. Like the thing I like about Borderlands is that you can start out really weak and then work your way up. So you can, if you start out having no air, and so like it's kind of like finding shields. Finding shields is annoying early on because you're really weak, and like I like the idea of having the air that you have to kind of like find a new air canister.
But the air is kind of like shields.
The air is kind of like shields. Like it counts down. It's kind of like. On the Giant Bombcast, they said it's kind of like being in underwater as Sonic. So like there's the constant countdown of like, oh, you need to find air, but it's not really that hard to find air. So I like it.
I saw that there was a so apparently Far Cry comes with the Far Cry 4 comes with the option that I would like for all video games. Like, what if we just agree to do this at the beginning? Like, and the game can end in 5 minutes if you just agree to do something. It's like, what if instead of fighting, we just said, okay.
Yeah, that's cool. I can't wait to get into it. I think it's going to depend on... I'm really busy this week, so if I don't buy it tonight, it'll be Thanksgiving or Christmas before I get around to it.
We're about ready to start?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Well, hang on 3 minutes. I told everybody 7:15.
Okay.
Oh, you said we're streaming live, so...
Oh, that's fine. We can wait. I forgot.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
We see where like people are on if they talk to us, or
I'll need to. I wonder if I could log into Ustream. I'd have to open my browser. I can't do that. That would put entirely too much strain on my.
Can I do it on the app?
That's what I was wondering. I wonder if we can.
Let me see. What's our
all right, so we're
text it to me. I think I know what it is.
No, just tell it to me.
Online. Is it our email?
God, you can do it from your fucking phone, so we could go live from our phones.
Is it the login our email address?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Wolfman. It's got, and this is a normal password.
Okay.
So.
Pidcast.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm really waiting also for I'm thinking a Black Friday sale. I know GameStop's got one for Shadow of Mordor as well.
Yeah.
That game is really good.
That game's finally out on PS3. I think I want that too.
Yeah, that's what I'm intrigued by.
I guess I could get it. I was gonna get on PC, but it's so daunting. Like I wonder if I'd be able to play it on high settings because it's so nice looking.
With your Alienware, you don't know if that would work.
The video card's still a couple years on it, so eventually I'm gonna have to upgrade the video card.
Oh wait, that wasn't Alienware. It was Allenware, right?
Yeah, I got the Allenware version.
And we're living here in Allenware. He's coming.
Oh, we're playing this on Allenware.
Did you see that he's coming to Phillips Arena?
Okay.
Billy Joel?
I did not. I'm okay with that now. I saw him on the River Dreams tour. I saw him in the middle of the night.
Things are okay for me these days. Got a good job. Got a good office. Got a good life. Got a good life. And the family's fine.
I'm more excited about this this Manilow Diamond tour that we've made up. That's what I'm most excited about.
I'd like to see them duet on You Don't Bring Me Flowers.
You don't sing me love songs. You don't bring me flowers anymore.
It's like a chant there, like the enigma.
Gregorian there.
Like enigma on that thing. All right, let's get going.
Okay.
Tyler just does not seem entertained by us tonight.
Man, I don't care. The people.
I'm just watching all the technology to make sure that it works. I feel like I'm a hacker in some bunker somewhere.
Hack the world.
I'm not sure who was Manilow and who was Diamond in that, though.
I like to think you're Diamond.
I'd like to think I was, too, but
Yeah.
I don't know who was, though.
Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Horrible Podcast. I don't like pina coladas or getting caught in the rain. I'm Brian.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Drew. Why a Rupert Holmes reference?
I don't know. Last week I referenced AC/DC. That was what the first thing that popped in my mind.
So of course you go naturally from AC/DC to Rupert Holmes.
Yes, that's the way my mind works, guys. It's like a carnival calliope up there all the time.
Let's get you going with We've been talking the Manilow Diamond. I don't know if you go that angle.
No, I should have done Manilow Diamond so we could do some duetting, but
just a thought.
You
Maybe
don't
next time.
bring me
No, you're not getting it
lead
again.
parts like in this movie. Hey guys, if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're Horrible PCast, HORRORBULLPCAST. Everywhere else, we're just the Horrible Podcast.
Just search us.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty easy to find.
If you can find Ustream, if you know where Ustream is, you can find us on other things. Go like us, tweet at us, say hello, email us at wolfmansgotnards@thehorriblepodcast.com.
Basically, what we're asking is to come at us, bros. ladies
and non-bros.
And non-bros.
Yeah, non-bros. We embrace.
We welcome everyone.
Yeah.
We're equal, welcoming.
We're inclusive of non-bros.
Yeah.
And ladies.
Except for bros, actually. Bros stay away from us, bros.
Yeah.
I don't want bros.
Don't come at us, bros. Because we'll bring it. I mean, Tyler's got old man strength. He
does.
Yeah, he's going to tear some shit up.
And Brian's just an old man.
Brian's
and Drew just has strength.
Went and picked up food tonight, and after I ordered, I pointed to Drew. I was like, my dad will be paying for this.
Because I have a sweater.
Yeah, he had a sweater on.
Brian, that's a visual joke. But we're on Ustream right now, which you can just search for the Horrible Podcast Ustream, and we're on there. So we do it every week, live and video.
Sweater.
It's an okay sweater.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, oh well, I guess.
I would say it's a Cosby sweater, but I really don't want to say Bill Cosby's name anymore.
Cosby stock's way down this week.
It's actually an Arnold Palmer.
There we go. I'll take that.
It's an actual vintage Arnold Palmer.
Oh, is it for real? Like,
yeah.
Oh, how about that? Yeah. Some history behind this sweater.
Yeah.
I mean, Arnold Palmer didn't wear it.
No, but your grandfather did?
Yes.
No?
Yeah.
I think I could smell the Old Spice and
you could, yeah.
What's the other Brute on it as we speak?
Oh, yeah.
Dracar Noir.
No, or what my grandfather wear? He always used lava. The
soap,
soap to get the grease out from under his hands.
And pipe tobacco.
No, he didn't smoke.
No, I'm just saying you should smell.
Oh, pipe. Yes, I got
that's
you.
the other thing you should smell.
And Budweiser. My grandfather, when he came home from the shipyard, he always required a Scotch and soda and a Budweiser chaser.
That's a good call.
And my grandmother always had it waiting for him. I was always like, "What is going on here, Grandma? Why does Grandpa have to drink his dinner?" Then the beating started. Hey, tonight's episode, guys, we're doing Starry Eyes.
I wish we could do like an effect on our eyes right now.
I'll do one.
Oh,
better.
I can't.
Starry, starry eyes. Paint your palette blue and gray. Nobody? Don McLean?
Nope.
Starry Night?
Nothing.
Nope.
American Pie is the only one I know.
Well, listen to Vincent, parenthetical Starry, Starry Night.
Right. That was his one of his other. He had like 3 hits, maybe. I think 4.
Maybe.
That's one of them. Yeah.
The only one I care about is American
Pie. The Gordon Lightfoot of 1978.
So yeah, Starry Eyes. I got to be honest, really dug the movie. I can't wait to get into what you guys had to say. It's totally different from what I imagined it to be. And every time I thought that I had the movie pegged, it did something else, and I really dug that.
Absolutely.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, you absolutely after you.
I was gonna say it's one of the first movies I've watched in a while, and I just got on the eye doctor yesterday, and I just got my eyes dilated, and so about the only thing I do is watch a movie on my TV because it's the biggest thing. And I was planning to do a little look into Starry Eyes a little bit before that. I'd read some tweets and all, but I hadn't done my full-fledged my legwork on it yet.
Mm-hmm. Just so you were clear, Drew does an intensive 10-hour historical research of Starry Eyes.
Legwork.
Directors, writers, actors, actresses. He does all of it. Producers we have a full sheet that's given to us every episode. We don't reference it that often, but he does have it.
Yeah, it's just handy. I mean, he's kind of like the Mark Zuckerberg of the podcast. He's just always coding, but instead of coding, he's like researching movies. That's how he knows all this shit.
What I like though is with most of these movies we do, especially these like this, it's just a blank sheet of paper really because there's not that much information on anything.
I know.
I sit there for 10 hours and just stare at a wall.
He's like, this $180 subscription to IMDb Pro was bullshit.
So yeah, Starry Eyes is. I
was just gonna say real quick. I didn't actually finish my thought.
Sure.
I knew nothing about it really going into it because I had hoped to before I watched it, and it surprised me at nearly every turn in a positive way. I mean, like with anything like this, I mean, it had some a couple of wrong turns maybe, and
but not like the movie Wrong Turn. The movie Wrong Turn had far many more wrong turns than this movie.
I think so. Yeah.
Hey, funny coincidence. Wrong Turn 6 came out this week.
Yeah.
I have not seen any of the Wrong Turns.
I saw the first one.
The first, like the middle ones are all made by like the poor man's Darren Lynn Bozeman though. It's like the same guy made them on Declan. God, I can't think of his last name. Declan something, and he made all the ones in the middle, and I think this might be one of the first ones that he didn't do, if I recall.
Declan. I mean, let me go ahead and guess his name. Last name starts with the Mac.
Maybe.
Because that's a very Scottish name.
Look it up now.
So yeah, I mean, Starry Eyes is a movie that I've just seen hyped a lot. I've been tweeting about it and watched a couple of trailers, and I really dug not just the art style, not the art style, that's a video game term, but just the visuals, the cinematography, and the sound design, like the way that the soundtrack went. So I was really pumped about this, and we sort of talked about what movie we want to do this week, and I've been starry eyes, full steam ahead the entire time. So I was really pumped about it.
I was going to be right. I was just going to guess Declan O'Brien, and that's what it
was. So the movie is pretty much a non-name cast. I mean, I recognized what's his name, Noah Segan.
Yeah, he's been in some things.
He was in Looper.
Dawson's Creek.
Was he in Dawson's Creek?
It was on his filmography.
He was in Brick. I recognize him from Brick.
So he's a Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, so he's Ryan Johnson because that's Looper and Brick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I think he has a new film coming out. Spoiler alert, that may or may not be coming to CFF. Redeemer, I think is what it is.
Cool.
So yeah, and I enjoyed his part, but other than him, I didn't recognize anybody else in the film.
Anybody? You didn't recognize
anybody?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase
I
that.
recognize almost everybody in this movie.
Did you?
Yeah.
Who else was in there that?
So Pat Healy.
Pat Healy, yeah, fuck yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Amanda Fuller. What funny connection? This is random. Amanda Fuller played the best friend who gets, spoiler alert, killed at the end. She played Brittany Murphy in the Lifetime movie version of the Brittany Murphy story, which I have to say, Kate's not gonna like this, but she was obsessed with when it came out. Like that movie, she was like, she wasn't obsessed because it was. She wasn't obsessed with it because she was like she was interested in like Brittany Murphy's story, but then the movie came out and Amanda Fuller was such a weird and bad Brittany Murphy that she just watched it over and over again, like wrapped by it. She was like, I can't believe how bad she is as Brittany Murphy. So I instantly recognized her and ran back to the back. I was like, Kate, look who it is. It's Brittany.
The guy I recognize though is, and I recognize his name in the credits, and I was like, Mark Spencer.
Yes.
Who is that? And then
Gene Simmons' son?
And then as soon as I saw him, Ray Pye
from The Lost. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
He played the assistant perfectly.
Okay, got the audition.
Yeah,
he's always the really weird guy.
Let me rephrase my comment.
Good job, Sarah. Today will be very different, Sarah.
You can't walk away now, Sarah.
No, that's the old
also
guy.
Maria Olsen's in a lot of stuff. The main she was the casting director, not Mark Center.
Yeah.
But she's in a lot of stuff. Like she's that woman. Yeah, like she's in a lot of stuff. I think she was in like a Paranormal Act. I don't know. Like she was in something like that. But she has a very familiar face. But and even the main character, the girl who plays Sarah, she looks familiar, but I looked at her credits and didn't see anything. But I almost feel like she was in a VHS, like in VHS or one of those movies.
Isn't she in ABCs of Death?
She was really good.
She was awesome.
Walk away now, Sarah.
What's weird, like what would be a great thing to do now is make a sequel about how the Alex Esso, the girl who plays Sarah, actually did all of this to become famous. Like this is her breakthrough role. That would be a very meta sequel to do.
And let's just say that the most horrifying part of this film is not the horror aspect, but could you imagine having to be an unknown actor / actress trying to make your way through this bullshit?
Yeah,
that
awful.
Stressed me the fuck out.
Me too.
All of it did. It's like the whole the auditions, the phone calls. That is, I'm imagining it's is it the friend that was really shitty that every time she said something would
fucking bitch?
Oh man, she was just
awful.
Like, are you sure that's the best thing to do? I know those people. Like,
she was the worst.
Also, not just that, but like the perfect kind of passive aggressive. Like from the very first scene where she was like, "It's probably I kind of hated the director, so it's kind of good that you didn't get this role." Like just the worst kind of passive aggressive.
Yeah, she was awful.
That she's we're all still friends. But I'm gonna make everything I say to you is gonna be a shitty dig at you.
Yeah.
Oh, everything.
Yeah. Oh man. That the person who portrayed that part played it perfectly too.
She did a great job.
Yeah, like it was just she delivered it just nice enough to not be shitty.
Well, no, the thing is,
it's very subtle.
that everybody else is going to let her get away with it. And so they say, oh, well, she didn't mean it. She was just being funny. That's the problem with that person is she does it just that much that no one else will call her on her bullshit.
Yeah.
And that one person, and they act like you're the asshole when you're finally like, when you finally blow up at that person. It's like, well, they didn't mean it. It's like, yeah, they meant it.
And that's Fabian Therese, who was also in John Dies at the End, which we did an episode
Yeah. That's right, episode 20.
I know, at this point, like 22, I think. Because I think that's when we debuted the first
Venom's Maximus.
Yeah, Venom's Maximus. So
a
long time ago.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the acting is really what makes this movie shine because it's very a lot of it's very subtle acting.
It's very Sofia Coppola acting, and I thought even the movie itself felt a lot like that. Like it felt like it would fit in even with like I don't know what. The Bling Ring or something like that.
Kind of detached, like very beautiful, detached people from like what's actually happening. Like they're involved, but they seem like at arm's length or separated or divided from it. Yeah, I think that's a really interesting comment.
Well, that's just what I thought. A lot of the movie thought is very much it's like a Sofia Coppola horror movie is what I felt at times. After what was a ridiculously awesome opening, the opening credits were so. I don't know. I was trying to like put my finger on it, but it just felt it had that huge '70s occult.
Yeah.
Even like Argento, which even later the mosaic, the tile outside of Astraeus Films was so something out of I don't know Suspiria or any of the Mother trilogy that Argento had, like apartment building kind of place like that. It was so '70s, and it was. I liked a lot of the design like that. It really took me to a subgenre of horror that I'm always really attracted to is that 70s occult kind of.
Did you guys look up what Astraeus is?
Mm-mm.
So apparently Astraeus is an astrological titan in Greek mythology. I looked that up. I was like, that has to mean something. Astraeus. So anyway, that's all I had to say.
It also sounds like Australia, which is Spanish for star.
It also sounds like the Neverending Story and Astraeus.
What?
Atreyu?
Stretch.
Atreyu?
I made it work with
the
Astraeus.
Did you? The movie that it reminds me of, which we did recently on the podcast, was called. Oh shit! I've forgotten the name of the movie. Contracted.
Yes,
certainly.
I have a couple of contracted notes. Yeah.
The last sequence, like her. What
maggots.
happens to her feels very much like Contracted. I agreed. Yeah.
Even like one kind of dehumanizing happened because of a bad act in Contracted, but here it's sort of like a systematic kind of like manipulation that's going on, and if this were the like late 90s, early 2000s, you'd find these movies in like a DVD 2-pack at the store. Like, oh, Walmart just has this movie for $9.78.
And some of I'll be honest, like later towards the end when she became, we'll get to that point later, but I actually got reminded of the whole Goat Witch short that we watched, the whole rebirth of this new creature that would come out.
Or what's the
nails?
What's the E. Eliash Merhige movie? Or I think I'm mispronouncing it.
Oh, right.
Not the guy who did Shadow of the Vampire, but his first movie. Do you remember? Like, it reminds me a lot of that.
I don't remember now. I can't think. All I can think of is follow up to that now, which is Suspect Zero. And that's all I can think of now. Oh, crap.
The Ben Stiller movie?
No, Begotten.
That's Begotten. That's it.
Begotten. Okay.
Begotten. Yeah. Like, it reminds me a lot of that. Oh, that movie's so messed up. That movie is messed up.
Just remembered it.
Oh, that thing's messed up. That student
Begotten?
art project. Yeah, Begotten is so messed up.
It's in our Dropbox. I have to go watch it again.
Yeah. It's real messed up.
We'd start talking about her being sick, and I want to pull back from that because honestly, my dirty little secret about the movie there is when it gets kind of more straightforward horror-y, I kind of lost some of my interest in it more than like that first. Gosh, I mean, it's more than half of it. It feels like, but maybe it's not. That it had this whole black swan, psychological kind of, but I still knew that there was like something really bad going on, but I honestly couldn't still put my finger on it. Maybe these are just really bad people who wear pentagrams. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's obviously Satan.
But that's the thing. It's the first half. It is or it isn't because it's so implicitly shown throughout that. Like it's super creepy. It's like maybe these are just bad people, and that's what happens when you deal with Hollywood, which is a great example of that. But then they were literally like Satan occult kind of shit.
That the producer that she goes to,
he's awesome.
He's very awesome and very creepy. He did a great job.
Very Christopher Plummer-y.
That's my Christopher Plummers are exactly who he reminded me of. But also, whenever I hear someone mention that white devil, that's exactly the face that I see.
Yeah. It's interesting, Drew, that you bring up Aronofsky, because the movie I thought of about halfway through was Requiem for a Dream. So Black Swan definitely fits into that. Like, it definitely has an Aronofsky sort of feel to it. And I definitely got that vibe, especially once she starts getting. I thought maybe a little bit of it was going to be like psychological horror, where she kind of loses it a little bit. So kind of like, I guess also Polanski, to drop another name, but I really love this movie. The only part that I actually think was a misstep was the length of time that she spends getting sick. I thought that was a little too long.
Absolutely agree. Yeah.
So beyond that, though, I thought this movie was
like she just wakes up and she's sick.
No, I think that it just that sequence
it's too long. Like, it's too much like puking and, hey, are you okay? Like, I think
it's too it's too samey almost. Like there's just it needed to get to what the end game was.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even and maybe that undercuts what they want to do, but I think more to that end game and then more of that end game perhaps. And I'm not saying a whole large sequence.
It was only 20 minutes. I remember
it's pretty short.
The bad shit when the typical like gross out horror stuff started to happen was 20 minutes, because I think
awesome.
As soon as she started, like, the kid walked in the room and I was like, pause.
Yeah.
Daddy, can you come lay with me? I have 20 minutes left of this movie. Let me get through this.
Yeah, I just think, the setup for this movie, which we haven't even discussed,
as a parent,
it's fantastic.
The setup for this movie is like every working actress's or like aspiring actress's worst nightmare. She can't get roles, and she works at a shitty fast food restaurant with a boss. Pat Healy could not have been better in his role as what is it? It's top taters.
Big taters.
Big taters. And I kept trying to understand what her pants were. Or like,
they look like a beer.
Seeds?
I think they were a beer. I think it was like a glass of beer, maybe.
I want you to appreciate what I'm doing here.
He reminded me so much of Office Space. Tchotchkes. Or what was it? Not Chotskys.
Tchotchkes. No, like, we could go to Tchotchkes. Oh, fuck, I don't remember. But
this is our flair.
I think
he reminded me so much of that guy too. Like, apparently it was not a chain. This was his restaurant.
Yeah, that's what but then again, I got that, and I started to think that, but then part of me started to think, no, that's just what that guy who runs.
He's the manager.
Yeah. This is his store. Yeah.
Well, it's what's great about. Another thing that's great about this movie, before we get back into like trailing off into the plot, is that everybody's on a power trip. Like, everyone has a sense of self-importance in this movie, and like his deal is the inverse of the Faustian bargain that she takes on. Like hers, because I felt a weird parallel that after she's done all these like demeaning things to get this role, that she goes in and she thinks she doesn't have the role, she doesn't want to do it, and then she has to grovel. And he says, I just want you to appreciate what I'm doing here, and like I want you to be a tater girl. And it's this weird like what's the word?
The word you said, Faustian. What does that mean?
Shut up.
You just assume that I know what this is.
You know what a Faustian bargain is, you dick.
I did.
But no, like, I think it's a weird inverse, because he's asking her to do the same thing. Like, he's asking her to give up part of her dreams to like pay the bills. Like, he wants her to be the face of this thing that's something she doesn't want either. So it's weird.
But he's only trying to look through her pants, not trying to get in them. Which I kind of waited for that sequence too, and I'm glad they didn't go there.
Me too.
Like, I thought in that sequence we were going to get her have to almost deal with that same bargain there, and have to. And I don't know. At that point, I didn't know where we were going with it anyway, and I thought that maybe she was going to. I didn't know where that was going to go.
I thought that like the movie has such a great tone, except for a couple. Like, there are a couple of weird instances of tone, but yeah, I found that they nailed Pat Healy's character. That he's just trying to make do. He wasn't overly sleazy. Like, in these kinds of movies, all of the male characters tend to be portrayed as like these really sleazy assholes, and he's sleazy in a different way. He's just very self-centered and like self-aggrandizing, but he's not lecherous in the same way that obviously the head of the studio is.
What a difference a mustache makes for Pat Healy.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you really not recognize him?
Pat Healy?
Yeah.
No, I recognize him. I just completely forgot that when we were talking about people who were in it. Like, I had Pat Healy notes in my notes.
Sarah's character also reminds me of the girl from The Ring who is at the very beginning, who has the like makes the weird face, who ends up in the mental hospital later. That's who she reminds me of.
I thought Jessica Harper from Suspiria the entire way through.
Okay,
she does have that look. She does.
That's what I thought, especially with the tight role she was doing, and like I said, with some of the other Argento kind of notes in the '70s kind of vibe that I got. That's what I really thought was that kind of Jessica Harper kind of thing.
One thing I think this movie does that I'm kind of enjoying about independent horror now is that it's using these things that would normally be cast on side characters as like main plot focuses, and her what I don't know what it's called, her psychological condition, like the pulling of the hair,
right?
Like that's such an interesting character thing to foist on someone. Like it usually it's just like girl is perfect except for her ambition, like, but this character has a lot more depth than you would sort of imagine here, and she's not a character you really want to root for after a while. And I kind of like that she's not just like having all this stuff heaved upon her and she's perfect and all of this. Like she has that like bare ambition.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but to that point where you almost wanted to punch her in the face too. It's like that was like her second audition, and she was expecting all this stuff. Like when they said that at that point, it's like come on.
It's also weird that, I mean, she just has that. She's just a weak person, and like, and in the end, that's why they chose her, not because she has strength, but because she has weakness.
I almost said Jessica. I was just double checking myself when you said Jessica Harper. I was like, oh, and she also said the girl from Phantom of the Paradise, and I had to look because it's Jessica Harper. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that the idea that all this stuff is happening to you and you didn't think anything bad was going to happen in the trade-off.
Right.
Like this is not the way the world works.
You don't see that in any of those things. You just see the person who sells her soul to the devil, and then it's awesome.
Yeah. And
you don't see a bad side to it. Usually, you
just assume it's going to be at the end. Like, oh well.
Well, yeah. When you die, you assume that's why I sold it. So it's going to be. So that makes you wonder. Does that mean it's just going to be all good from then on out? You went through the bad shit.
I don't know. Yeah, and she did lose her hair. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it'll grow back.
She still looks pretty good with it.
Yeah, I thought she looks great with her out of her hair.
I mean, the thing is, like, she does sacrifice, but only in the like temporal sense, like in an intemporary sense, because she gets rid of people she doesn't really care for that much for like her own success, which is weird.
And are they going to take care of the police investigation?
I don't think there will be one. Do you? Like, I think that's already taken care of because the friend comes home, Brittany Murphy comes home, and there's no blood or anything there.
And by the way, everyone we know died last night.
I'd like to think that, I don't know. Well, it's interesting though. I mean, we don't really know what she's getting out of it. And that's always kind of the thing with that bargain with the devil. It's never made quite clear, which I always think is pretty interesting. Like when he's making the deal with us, like, hey, you just got to give up. You know, if you got to kill your old life, it's like, you mean that literally?
Or here, yes.
No, I know, but that's the thing. But in these situations, like maybe you want to sit there and get that in a little more, explicit writing.
Can you give me more details?
What exactly is going to happen? Because, all right, I agree to that. Okay, I agree to that. Okay, that's cool. I don't want to throw up worms. That's kind of gross.
It's always, I mean, that's the thing about the Faustus deal, though, is like it preys on the idea of like the now, because that's the thing about Dr. Faustus in the Marlowe writing, is that he just sort of goes like, I'll worry about it in 20 years. I'm worried about it in 5.
Oh, I think that's where my confusion came in, because I'm thinking of the Goethe Faust, not the.
See, that's your problem.
Two completely different things.
Yeah, that's the Goethe Faust is entirely different.
I was
from
thinking
the
of
Marlowe
Satan
Faust.
showing up as a poodle, and
I was thinking the Randy Newman Faust. Go look it up.
Wow.
He wrote like a little opera. It's got like
Did he?
James Taylor sings part of it. Oh yeah, check it out.
You got a friend in
Satan. That's the darkest Pixar movie they've ever made.
Exactly.
Randy Newman goes dark.
Randy Newman's Faust.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I don't want to go down to hell.
I don't know, devil, if this is the deal I want to make.
I love not being in hell.
Yeah.
Short people got deals with the devil.
God.
Hey, everybody who was alive in the 70s, Randy Newman's greatest hits.
Rednecks and the devil.
He looks like the last time I saw him on the Oscars, he looked like a singing turtle.
He looks like singing Michael Moore.
He looks like a singing Roger Ebert post-op
without the jaw.
So yeah, so she.
Oh, I guess I'll just ignore
Sarah.
that.
I laughed.
Did you? It must be cut out. It was
My audio cut out for a second. Check the tape. So Sarah goes in for this audition in this movie, and they're only interested in her when she does the weird thing that she does only in private, and that should be a signal.
But how did they catch it? That's the other thing too. Did they?
It's the devil.
I know. Did they? But did they follow her to the bathroom, or did they? They had some. That's the thing.
Obviously,
it's
it's mic'd and recorded.
Everything is mic'd and recorded there.
But
it's like Prince's studio. They were actually at Paisley Park, and that's why, because there is a microphone in every room.
If the bra fits.
But no, that was awesome. And then so she gets a call back.
Call back.
Well, she gets a call back, but this could have been two totally different movies, and I would have been satisfied with either. Like, you could have almost stretched the first act of this movie into an entire movie to see how much when I first saw the trailer, I thought that this movie is going to be about how far someone would go to take a role, like how far someone would go to, kind of like Black Swan. So I expected there to be more toying with what she would do to be in the movie. But it's not that at all.
And I would have, and like I said, that's what I think I would have preferred. Like I said, I think that's the one part. Like I said, my dirty little secret is once it went true horror, I kind of checked out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I liked this a lot more when it was much more the psychological. Star is Born, all about Eve.
Yeah.
Dealing with what, like you said, what will you do to be famous, kind of deal.
Hey Hollywood, let me go ahead and put this out there. If me becoming famous just requires me
taking a shot in the mouth,
me blowing someone, count me in because I'm there. I mean, you can record it too. It's fine. I know what guys. I mean, I'm a guy. I know what I like. I'm gonna be fine at it.
God. I mean, it's. I mean, hey, if it's
listen,
even old creepy Christopher Plummer.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Real Christopher Plummer.
Now we go to not Christopher Plummer, but what's the other Christopher? Saruman.
Christopher Lee?
Yeah.
Christopher Lee. He's 95, right? He's super old. Anyway, yeah.
Joke.
I mean,
I'm sorry, I have a Christopher Lee fetish. Jesus Christ.
It's the death metal album.
Christopher Lee fetish.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I almost would have preferred, though, to see how far it would go. But then...
how far would you go, Tyler?
I don't know. Like, there's no guarantee. B, I don't know that I'd want to be famous. Like, I don't have that part, I don't think. Like, I want...
If someone was to say, hey, we can make all this bullshit, which, there's a part where she's at the party and is watching all these people when she finally decides that, oh, I'm going to fucking do this, because she's listening to these people talk and it's just getting the banality of it. Like the whole idea.
She'd taken drugs.
She had taken drugs, but
in a pool.
But they're all
very Requiem for a Dream-esque.
Yeah,
and she saw one girl, the girl she didn't like, kiss the guy that I think we're supposed to in a regular movie think she kind of liked.
Mm-hmm.
No, but even just the conversations they were having about the future and how this, all these, like the one Noah Segan wanted her to be in his film and stuff like that. Just that idea. It's the same reaction I would have as if my neighbors came over and wanted to talk about my lawn, and I just want to grab them, push my hand in their face, and push them down and tell them to shut up because I can't talk about this banality.
Yeah,
it's that same reaction too. It's like I would blow anybody to get out of this. The suburbs.
I think that would have been more effective because I didn't get that. She takes a drug and she goes and swims around in a pool and watches half-naked people in a pool swim around. Then she sees that director guy kiss the other girl, and she's like, "Oh, she's getting a role because she's doing that. I'm gonna go and do this."
No, that's interesting that I saw it completely different. I saw it as her just thinking, "God, this is fucking ridiculous." The monotony of these conversations and
they hadn't had any conversations, but no one was talking.
But up to that point, like the whole,
like the conversation
everything they
with the
said
director.
was about directing and films and can you be in my film? I just saw that whole thing as a whole. Like,
I kind of see.
No, I mean, personally, I understand. I see what you're saying, but that's the idea that I got too. Is that it's just that this constant day in day out struggle of monotony of, oh, you should be my film. I have this script. We should do this. You should shoot this. And she's just like, fuck it. I don't want to do any of this anymore. All I want to do is become a star, be famous, and not have to deal with any of these assholes anymore.
Because she does want the shortcut. Like that's kind of that's part of her character. That's kind of what I like too. Is that she's not. Is it called a Mary Sue when the character just does all the right things, or is that a Pollyanna? I don't know. Whatever.
The bright side and everything. Pollyanna sees the bright side and everything.
So she's definitely not a Pollyanna.
She's the ultimate optimist kind of deal.
But she just wants the shortcut. Like I just don't know that I'd want that kind of shortcut to. I just don't think that I would be able to handle it personally. I think that like that is the weird. When you talk about the Faustian bargain of fame, like that's what happens. Like here's your shot. Take it, and you have to hang on to it though because it's fleeting, and unless you're someone who can manage to stay in the limelight, it's going to fade. So like what have you compromised in your life in order to get where you go? And like the metaphor becomes very literal here at the end because she literally sacrifices her friends and her old life to be famous. But it works on a metaphorical level, and I just don't know that I don't know that I'm equipped for it. You guys know how anxious I am as a person.
No, it was a good movie to make me think about like what would I do to become. Is fame the ultimate? Like, is that the end? Like, is that what you want? That fame, or does she just want to be able to be a working actress that gets paid for stuff?
My problem is I just want more specificity than she's. It's like now. Let's be clear. What am I getting?
What is this?
What am I
BJ
doing?
Gonna get me?
Drew would be if Drew were in this movie, it would be an hour and a half of him reading a legal document. Like, so here in section 4, part B, you say. One shot in the mouth. Is that just one?
I lost my boner like an hour and 15 minutes ago.
That dude had, Viagra, Cialis, or whatever. He was ready for however long he needed.
I like to think of him as the Bill Hicks idea of Satan, where it's like this just monster cock that comes out. Like,
I think of him kind of like this is more of the raisin in the sun devil that sort of shows up like, I have this deal, you can take it. And it'll get you somewhere, but maybe not.
Shucks.
Was he the devil or just one of those guys who he was another guy who sold his soul at some point to get where he was?
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, he is
his deal to keep his deal going.
He's kind of an avatar of the devil. It seems like he is just in place of like he is the sort of Satan by proxy in this movie.
Satan by proxy,
which is the most boring kind of Satan. Satan by proxy.
He has to bring in as many young nubile souls as possible.
I like to imagine Satan as the Pat Healy of bosses too. Like, I mean, you used to like bring in like 20, 30 new souls a day or a week. Now you're doing like 15, 16. Let's step it up. Old Christopher dude.
I like to think that actually is the devil, and he's fallen on hard times, and he's got to work at Big Taters. And this other guy who,
Pat Healy.
God damn it,
Pat Healy is the devil.
I think it works. I think it also works on the level that, or what's interesting is that this studio has also sort of fallen on hard times. Unless I misread the movie, that like they've
like it, yeah.
So I wonder what that is about. Like I know that it's sort of like a plot driving thing. Like they're not quite as popular. It's not like they're not like the biggest studio in town. Which it seems like if you could just pluck some like hapless stranger out of obscurity, that you'd be a lot more famous than you were. So I don't know. However, I do like that the movie doesn't say that she's going to definitely become famous. Like this is not the genie's wish. That it's still like there's still a lot up in the air about what level of fame she's going to get, because she's going to be in a movie called The Silver Scream.
Yeah, which that one awful girl made clear. Yeah. Not a title.
Not a good title. Not at all.
Are you really going to be in a movie called The Silver Screen?
You sucked a guy's cock for that.
Was it almost maybe a literal little nod at these type movies that haven't been popular for a while, things like that? I mean, it definitely had that feel of, from Rosemary's Baby to The Omen to The Exorcist, and Devil,
Devil's
Devil Dog Hound from Hell, and just all these like the '70s obsession, which obviously that guy was straight out of '70s Hollywood. I mean, that's the thing. He's still this obsession with with devil movies in the '70s that were popular, and then kind of went away. And now,
aged Robert Evans.
Yeah. It reminds me of the subplot from GTA 5, where you sort of want you work for the old Hollywood guy who's like he's well respected, but his movies have definitely fallen on hard times.
That's what I thought about too. Yes.
Now he's Grand Theft Auto.
Guess what I'm buying on the way home.
Exactly. You just realize you made him buy it.
Yeah. It's a fun game. I don't want to play it again.
Nicole's listening. I'm buying Grand Theft Auto 5 on the way home.
And you know what she's sitting there? I knew it.
Oh, shit. My phone went off. You're not. No, you're not.
But no, I do. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if that was the idea, is that like even these, I don't know, it's the idea that even these guys can fall on hard times.
Yeah. Like the devil doesn't have that much. Like movies aren't that popular anymore. They're in video games now. That would be the sequel. How
do I buy that this studio's going to get back by placing their, like, is that the thing? Are they selling, have they not been able to get these hot young nubile ladies for a while, and we finally got one, and if we sell her soul to the devil, we'll be back on top. And so, they're almost sacrificing her for themselves because they're not doing it to be selfless, obviously.
Well, desperation breeds desperation.
But no, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. All of that part was confusing. Like even the point when they brought up Astraeus the first time, and I was like, they acted like we were supposed to know what it was for a second, and then they had to. Then I think they backed into an explanation of it, and then it was like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about now. It felt very much like the Jade Unicorn is what it felt like to me.
Maybe I'll plug here. Maybe I'll forgo Tyler's book for
Jay Halpern's old
Jay Unicorn. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Sorry, Tyler.
Hey, coming up in a couple episodes, we'll have an interview with a horror author, T. Blake Braddy, by all three of us. It'll be very interesting.
It will.
To see how Tyler reacts to our attack on T. Blake Braddy.
I know. Just turn into an O'Reilly segment. Turn into an O'Reilly segment. Thank you. I'll take it.
Is this true that...
is it true that you stole this wholeheartedly from Dan Brown?
Is it true? Does the house really boogie?
I was expecting all sorts of dancing, but I got no dancing.
That's a joke. Yeah, a guy who saw the cover was like, "Is this a book about dancing?" Ha ha ha.
Who put that on there? Who said that? Who made that joke?
Somebody at work.
God damn it! I wish I could have had that joke.
And you made it weeks ago.
I imagine that it's I also think that it's
you got beat by weeks.
It's fun.
And weeks.
Boogie, like I think of someone with picking their nose and throwing it on something like a boogie. A boogie house.
So yeah, that's actually what the book's about. You spoiled the ending of it. It's actually about a man's boogers coming back to life to kill people.
Oh my god!
So it feels like a Louis Satcher, like a sideways story from
a house made of
school. It's like
the house made of boogers.
Yeah,
the student from the boogie house.
The house that boogers built.
What if 20 years from now we're having that conversation that, like we talked about, Nightmare on Elm Street being the house final.
The house that Freddy built?
Yeah, the house that Freddy built. We have the house that Boogie built.
Yeah,
because we're in a house.
Or no, it's just that Tyler's on Boogie House 20.
We're all three living in some sort of halfway house that.
No, listen.
Talking about this and no one's listening.
Listen, it's always been understood that if any of us make it, that they bring the rest of us along.
Oh yeah. That is implicit. Is that if one of us makes it, all of us makes it.
I will be a great part of an entourage.
Every successful person has an entourage, and we all need that entourage.
Well, we're on the way there. So
your drama.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to pretend.
Turtle.
Hey, I'll blow someone. If we bring it back, let's bring it back to Starry Eyes.
All right, he's Turtle.
I'll suck your cock for a part.
Well, there's our sound clip for this episode.
I'll suck your cock for a good.
You didn't have to repeat it. We already had it.
I just like saying cock. I'll suck your cock. Cock is like the dirtiest of the dick.
Yeah, stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Our grandchildren will listen to this 30 years from now?
I'm just thinking in 2 years when your son cares to listen to the podcast and he's like, Daddy, what is this?
Oh, he goes to sleep with his podcast.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Daddy, guess what?
Bores him?
Yeah, he's like, Daddy, guess what? Your voice puts me to sleep. Let's listen to this.
I do like after she. I do like that she has the moment. She turns it down, and I like that the movie doesn't totally it demeans this character, but it's not like exploitative of women as a whole. And I do think that that's a really interesting choice this movie makes. It doesn't it chooses to use the character but not use the person, and I think that's like moving forward and being a little bit more thoughtful about horror movies. And like we have been watching a lot more thoughtful horror movies recently. I think this movie does a really great job of respecting the character and like who that person is, even if she turns out to be a total dick. And I don't think she deserves the kind of respect that the movie gives her over the course of the film.
But because the thing that's fun is I think that's the thing we learn. Like when everyone else is like, when she gets all mad that Jessica told what had happened to her, I mean, everyone was on her side because they all thought, hey, skeezy old guy, don't do that. And ultimately, I don't know that any of them would have, but she is the one who not only would have, but did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what is it ultimately that drives her to that decision?
Well, Brian already told us it's because of the banality of the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Was that? Yeah, I guess that was the thing.
I mean, I see Drew's side of things of like maybe she sees the guy that she thought she could have a part with, this indie director or not really indie director, but this down in his luck kind of
homeless guy, the guy living in his living in his car. I mean, yeah, like it's fine, but I do think it's interesting that she didn't make this totally like this wasn't totally of her own volition. I mean, she made the choice, yes, but she is also high on an ecstasy type drug, so it's kind of like
straight.
I mean, when you are on substances, it's easy to say like, yeah, what I guess I'll make that choice, like even if it's a bad choice. But then she is totally punished for it. But then also she later is given another bargain, which is like you can die and no one will care, or here's the catch. For some reason, murdering all of your friends will make you be reborn.
Be reborn with Lee Press on nails and like the girl in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. And
I love that scene though, like all of the way that she acts with her hands, and it's almost like a Disney movie or like Maleficent or something.
I'll be honest. I'm gonna go ahead and give a little part of an insight into my psyche. I don't like long nails like that. They freak me the fuck out.
I liked it. I mean, like, I thought it was a cool part of the movie.
It is it fits the part, but I'm just saying, like as a person, I'm not a fan of those kind of nails. Prom nails, I call them prom nails. It's like that idea that everybody has to get done up like they're not the real person they are.
Yeah,
I thought.
Hey, look at you!
I thought there was a really strangely thoughtful use of nudity in this movie too.
Yeah.
Like I mean, there were several moments early on where you could have easily, if you're going to have nudity in the movie, you could easily have done it. I mean, when they ask her to take off her clothes in the audition, and they purposely don't to have to only really, I mean, to really be very nonchalant about it once she makes the transformation into this new creature, whatever she might be.
That's interesting.
I thought that was fascinating too.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I thought that too was it was interesting. It was obvious that they chose that to do that because when they say, hey, take your clothes off, I kept thinking, oh, we're going to have some nudity parts. Yeah. And then it slowly reveals, like, there's a scene where I think she's in the bathtub or the shower where the water's on her, where you can see,
we see, you almost get a transition to where you see nipples in the white T-shirt, and then you just get full on.
And
she's transforming.
She's almost transforming, and it's even more like she's more confident and sexual, too, like, in the way she approaches things. So yeah, it was a cool use of it.
And I like to think that she didn't actually kill Jessica, that she infected Jessica.
Yeah.
Jessica's going to come back as something like her-esque or something like that. Because I mean, it's more like she was spitting blood into her mouth. She wasn't biting her tongue. She wasn't really pulling her. It didn't look like she was biting her lips. I was like she was.
That's not bad.
Engorging her with like her blood or something.
Both of us perk up like, oh, engorged.
I will say that the scene where she's asked to disrobe is one of my favorite in the movie because of the way it's shot. So I think that's it was a really interesting, the way that the flash bulbs leave the residue of her face. Like you see the outline of her face after it. All of that was really well done. Like the whole movie shot really well. It almost feels like. Did you guys ever see the movie Bellflower? It's on Netflix instant.
I didn't see it. No.
This movie has kind of a similar like cinematography style, and I really dug that movie too. I'm gonna see you.
I'm really fascinated to see more of what these guys.
Yeah, Whitmire and
that's
Kolsch.
I remember too.
Kevin Kolsch.
Kevin Kolsch and Whitmire. Yeah,
I was really, really pleased by what I saw there, and really am interested to see what more they have to offer.
The part where they're all at the getting ready to go to the Hollywood Bowl, I guess, and they're on the concrete area, and she starts to become a little more assertive in her ideas of what she wants done, and like Noah Segan character's like, everything's funny, everything's still fine.
That was funny.
It's all fine.
Yeah,
everything's
like, funny.
He wanted like everyone to just chill, man. Everything's cool. It's not cool.
But I think he's the problem too, because he's also that character in these movies that he was stuck in that world, but between places. When he promised her that role, and then when she sees in the pool him kiss the other girl who she also knows wants the role, that's where the change happens to her drug addled mind, that she sees that's how you get a part in Hollywood. So why the fuck should I sit there and take this shitty role when I can go and just get a gateway role?
Bypass the whole thing.
I can go blow a lesser demon to get a sweet role.
And go blow Wolfram and Hart and get my.
Speaking of sweet rolls, Cinnabon.
This is our
sponsor.
Hey guys, speaking of sweet rolls, Cinnabon is our sponsor.
And get a Cinnabon.
I may do that after this. Now that I think about it.
So let's talk about the end. I kind of want to talk about the end sequence of the film. Like once I didn't know where the movie was going to go after she transformed, which that was the slow part for the movie. But when it's like you can transform, I was like, what is gonna happen? And I did not expect what actually happened. When it becomes. I know that like the overall pacing of the movie is off, and like this changes the entirety of the movie. But when it turns into a slasher flick, I liked it.
Oh my god, when she beats that one person's face in, I was like, oh, they keep showing
that's
it.
The girl who fell and broke her nose, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's always the passive aggressive chick?
No. That was the one she stabbed and slit her face.
She slashes her cheek.
Okay, that's passive aggressive girl. Okay.
But I almost thought it was going to end.
Like it affects her mouth. Like she slashes her in the mouth, which is what the problem is. Most of the movie is like how much she comments. Yeah.
Well, it was her cheek. Like what I took was I almost took that she was going to leave her be, but she was going to leave her face ruined so she could never act again. I thought that would have been an interesting choice. Like she lives, but she will never be in a movie because her face is totally fucked up.
But she will be in Time Magazine and Oprah's stuff.
Right. She will get famous. But like, yeah, I mean, this movie has some really interesting stuff, and it's a very thoughtfully crafted film. And it seems to take it takes itself very seriously. And especially like how it goes about plot and pacing. Nothing is done just for the service of violence or gore or being messed up. It has a purpose for everything it does. And I really liked how intentional everything in this movie was.
Yeah.
So after she stabs passive aggressive girl, she
beats the shit out of.
It's kind of the
she does
like the death proof ending where just like the face gets totally crushed in and kills the dude who slips on hair, which I think is an interesting way of like that's an interesting nod to the earlier part, like playback to the earlier.
Like the idea of like as I was watching, I kept thinking like this is a very good. They did a good representation of what I imagine like getting this done to you would be like the stabbing.
Yeah.
Like where she was stabbing, like right in the lower back. Like I can imagine that would be. You wouldn't die right away. It'd be so painful though. Yeah. And then she like twists it, and it's like, oh,
well, like when the other guy, when Noah Segan's character was like, "Don't, stop, don't." You know, he's still able to sit there and consciously ask her to stop and doing what she was doing. Yeah.
Ugh.
God Almighty!
Yeah,
it's one of those things. It made me think about like that whole thing too. Of like, what would it be like to have actually get attacked like that, where you're just
be the worst?
Can I tell you? I was also really, I was trepidatious because it was looking so much like contracted.
Yeah.
And I was so afraid that it was going to be some zombie shit too.
Nope.
No,
doesn't take a step too far.
I was like, oh, it's like sad relief because
almost perfectly done. Like the tone of the end was great. I just finished the Zodiac book, the Robert Graysmith book, which I think I mentioned last week too. But
is that what the movie is based on?
Yeah, and there's a scene that's it's Jake Gyllenhaal plays the guy who wrote the book, and there's the scene where they're in the movie it's portrayed well, but where the couple's out and it's the light time and he just ties them up and starts stabbing the woman. In the book, he stabs both of them, the guy and the girl, and he stabs her like 27 times, and she's just like thrashing the entire time. And it describes how like she didn't die immediately. It took her an hour to die, and she almost lived, but they were in a place where they couldn't drive out, so they had to, like, the guy who got stabbed like waved down a fisherman who was going by on a boat, and the entire time she was just like begging not to die. That seems like the worst absolute way to go, is like having been stabbed and just slowly bleeding out and knowing you're dying. Seems horrifying.
And the smell of those fish, I'm sure.
Oh, God almighty.
I know.
And it was the 70s, so you know everybody smelled bad.
That was awful. I apologize for that. That was terrible. Whew.
It's almost like the movie Torn Curtain, in a way, the Hitchcock movie where they try to kill this person and it just takes them for, like, it's not easy to kill a person. I wish there were more movies that sort of portrayed the reality of like how difficult it actually is to murder a human being.
Or even just exactly. The psychological impact of what that is, to actually have the experience of what's going, not making light of it like Throw Mama from the Train, where you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill my mom, or like, which
is a remake of a Hitchcock flick,
right? Exactly. The Strangers on a Train, right? Just the idea of how bad it would be to actually do that, and that's what's good about her. Besides the face smash, like, hers are very painful. Like, people are just writhing as she is killing them.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the rock face would also be very painful. You said except for the rock face.
Well, it seems that's over quickly. Like, once she starts smashing,
and then she just smashed for a while.
I wonder.
Was it three people, one nail gun? What's the horrible?
Hammer?
Three guys, one hammer.
Oh my God!
Nail gun?
Someone got nailed.
Ugh. So, anyways,
yeah,
the end of the movies. I wondered what was going to happen after the deaths. Like, I had no idea that it would be like a literal rebirth, like a Matrix kind of ending to the movie.
How about the idea, like, whenever I get under my covers, it doesn't seem that spacious. There's a couple of like scenes where she's under the covers, like, man, there's a lot of space to move around under these covers.
I did like the stylishness of the shot.
Yeah,
like we were standing up. But
honestly, it kind of made me remind me of the Babadook. Like when the mom was under the covers, the action under the covers, not action in Brian terms, but yeah.
It reminds me of a New Nightmare. That's always the movie I think about when I think about like how big covers can be. Like when Heather Langenkamp pulls the covers over her, and then it's just this vast, wide world. And that's kind of how I imagine it as a kid. Like, oh my God, there's so much room under here, and also it will defend me from chainsaws.
And there are snakes.
Yeah.
Don't get too close to the bottom. You have to be close to the pillows.
Snakes are.
Yeah, up close to the pillows, it's fine.
Snakes at the bottom. I almost really wanted it to end really negatively, where she got dick out of it, like nothing, like that's what she just died, like, and it was just to replenish them. Like that was where I was at one point. I was kind of hoping it was going. It was just a complete and utter lie that she was going to get anything. She just had to agree to it so they could get what they needed out of it. It was for a moment where I was kind of wanting to go.
It's so. I mean, that movie's so grim. It's really. I mean, I guess it's not, but I don't know if I
see you on Friday nights.
It's a fairy tale.
Guys, we're sponsored by NBC. If you watch Grimm on Friday nights at 9:00,
and then Constantine afterwards.
That Grimm. That's a really great television program.
Now you sound like an old man doing Saturday football. I love that.
That Grimm. That's quite a television show.
After the game tonight, make sure you turn in to CSI New Orleans,
CSI Cincinnati,
CSI Akron, Ohio. We're going to be on there. They're talking about a lot of people died.
CSI Fargo. That's a good one.
Fargle. I thought you said Fargle.
I did too. I was like, we made the comment about the Tolkien thing earlier tonight. I was like, Fargul, is that a new part of Mordor? Fargul.
It's just the best edition of CSI.
Yeah. CSI Mordor. a lot of Uruks and
that's an SNL sketch waiting to happen.
Let me tell you what.
So you walked over and you just threw the ring into the volcano. I don't believe
Shadow of Mordor had a CSI, it'd come after the guy that you're playing in Shadow of Mordor, because that guy is destroying orcs and Urukai.
But just imagine the Urukai who rips off his sunglasses at the beginning to get to do his...
Hey, human, you're going to go to die on this one.
Dun, dun, dun.
I was trying to think of an orc-related pun that I could use to pull the glasses off to, like, yeah! What is an orc? I was going to say, like...
World of Warcraft?
Yeah. I was going to say, like, a champagne-related death, and he corked him.
Urukai are tough, but Uruk die.
Urukai. More like Uruk die.
It's like...
Yeah!
God, this is... painful.
Hey guys, we've devolved into CSI Tolkien jokes, guys.
I know that she died by sacrifice. Maybe they'll call her Joan of Orc. Joan of Orc. Get it?
No, I get it.
It's very clever. How's that working out for you? Being clever.
Oh my God.
That's from Fight Club.
Orcs, like guys. So yeah.
This movie's amazing. This is one of my favorite movies we've done for the podcast. And we've had a long string of good movies.
Yeah. Easily one of my favorites we've done in many a moon.
Yeah. And we've done some good
in that top. Probably in that top set. Outside of the obvious classics that we've been doing recently and all of that, but of the out of the blue indie stuff, probably. I mean, I get why all the buzz out of Fantastic Fest was so positive. No, it's really worth watching. Yeah.
And hey, if you're watching Starry Eyes, make sure you're listening to Don McLean's Starry, Starry Eyes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting the disapproving parent from Tyler.
He's getting if we had a hook, we'd totally Showtime.
Wrap it up
off the stage.
Wrap it up.
I'm a dad, but yet Tyler's shaking head makes me feel bad about myself. And like I imagine he's the teacher that I like, oh God, this teacher that just doesn't get it.
Boo.
Starry, starry eyes.
Yeah, I would put this up there with all the best things we've done, from The Battery all the way up to Almost Human.
I mean, yeah.
So yeah, it's on VOD right now. Go rent it yourself, watch it. You know,
I was trying to think of the worst things we did real quick to make a joke about the Battery or this, but I
can't think of a really
Yeah, I forget about the bad stuff a lot quicker than the good stuff.
Also, they made something. So like,
hey, listen, guys, we're watching a lot of good stuff. Deal with it.
Yeah, and we have a good string of movies coming up too, because we'll probably dig back in to do ABCs of Death and VHS Viral. So Housebound. Yeah, so I'm really excited about the future of the podcast.
And if you're listening, next week's Thanksgiving, so we're going to take it's kind of a break, but not. We're going to release an older episode we have, this Citadel. So you'll get to hear about us talk about feral children.
What I'm going to do is next week on Wednesday, I'm still going to Ustream during this, but I'm just going to sit here silently for an hour and just play the episode through the speakers.
Then Skype me, because I'll be at my parents' house. You can listen to
I won't be in town. So no Ustream next week, but go listen to some Venomous Maximus.
If you want, I'll Ustream our Thanksgiving so you can hear all the dysfunction.
Hey, and because Tyler wants to go get Boogie House.
Yeah, really.
Get my book.
Tyler's written a book. That's a huge achievement.
And a huge book, Brian says.
And it's a fucking big book. Don't expect to get like a small, 200-page book. This thing is massive. I got it. I was like, this is heavy. How did I get free shipping on this?
Yeah, pick it up. It's now the top entry for the if you look Amazon Boogie House in there, it's the top one.
Boogie House, it's the number one entry.
Before Canned Heat had an album called the Boogie House Tapes, and that was the top entry, and now mine's top Canned Heat.
They've overtaken Canned Heat.
Is it a song in the summertime on there?
Yeah.
Summertime. That's Mungo Jerry. God damn it! What does Canned Heat sing?
I don't know.
You know the
Summer in the
Woodstock
City?
track.
I don't know.
No.
In the summertime when the feeling is right. That's Mungo Jerry. God damn it.
I'll keep that in mind for trivia. Thanks.
All right, guys.
Generating canned heat.
Boogie
house.
I'm pretty sure that was your cue.
Oh, hey, I'm Brian.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Drew.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
On the Horrible Podcast.
Part 1, I gotta get committed now. When's he? I know has he even started part 2?
Yeah, I've got the first draft done.
Sweet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm hoping over Christmas break I'll be able to sit down and read one of the 8,000 books I have.
Yeah.
And that one is at the top of my queue.
Yay!
That one and another one I've got, which is a sequel to this guy who already wrote a book, and it's his
Stephen
second
King?
that I know. No, this guy I know as well, because like those are the ones I want to put at the top, are ones of people I actually know.
Well, that means a lot to me.
Although revival is on the
that's next for me.
I have to finish MAUS, Mouse.
That's good.
I'm gonna finish that probably tonight or tomorrow, and then I'm gonna do the audiobook on the way to Virginia. I'll probably do either Mr. Mercedes or Revival.
I love that. I vote Mr. Mercedes. That book is fucking amazing.
And then I'm gonna read Tyler's book when I'm up in Virginia for Thanksgiving. So.
I can read it to you if you just call me.
All right, Tyler, do you have 12 hours you can spare? Just talk to me on my trip to Virginia is 9 hours. So if you want to read to me,
just call me. I'll get a glass of water and we'll go.
That's all I need. Just water. Just a
Brian,
glass of water.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired of talking.
I've still got 2 more hours to go. I got 2 more hours to drive.
So yeah, it's
I haven't
it's
even
really exciting.
masturbating yet.
I didn't respond. Like I had to change a few things. I rewrote the back book flap copy and made some last minute changes. So Brian, you have an outdated version of the book.
A collector's edition.
Yeah, kind of. So if you want to trade out, it's just like Josiah read the whole thing. He read a proof, and like there are just a couple things. Like when my editor went through it, he like some of the editing marks still showed up, so I had to just go through and delete some of those. Like just I
constantly see. No, she's got like authors. I'm sure they are romance. I'm not sure, but authors that she buys that. I mean, I see $5.99, $6.99, $99 charges coming through like 4 or 5 a day.
Wow, Jesus.
Through Kindle. So I'm like, are you reading all these books? I can't get mad at her because I fucking buy shit all the time too. So
I'm also we're streaming too right now. So anybody we're not doing the episode, but if people want to come for the pre-show, I feel like they can. So if people show up early,
stay for the show.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm also I'm trying to get. There's an indie. Like Audible will also produce your book if someone bites on it. So I've also put it out it's called the ACX, the audio something exchange. So hopefully I'll get somebody to do the audiobook version as well. That'd be awesome.
Don't you have an audio book? I've listened to a couple of chapters on our Dropbox where you started it.
Yeah, I only did like the first 6 chapters. That shit is really time consuming. So I'd much rather somebody else do it.
I'll do it. They want to hire me. I'll read your book.
Okay. I would love that. If you would sit down and read, they estimated that it would be a 12.5-hour book. So
hey, so I also thought of a cool idea would be if like not couple weeks away you and Drew and I we should interview T. Blake Braddy as the Horrible Podcast, not with Tyler.
No. We should actually all 3 of us interview
T. Blake Braddy.
That'd be fun.
I think it'd be fun. I'd like to give T. Blake Braddy the business.
Get like with the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for buying the book. That means a lot.
No, absolutely.
I was excited. It was fun.
I really thought it was like when I got it, I was like, shit, this is a big book. I thought I was gonna be able to get done with this in like a couple of days. I want to spend some time with this thing.
I didn't know Tyler knew that many words.
It says
I also thought it would take longer to ship. I thought that they would have to like a Gutenberg the press out of that motherfucker and like. But no, like 3 days later, it showed up. So
Brian's seen it.
Just so you know, it says our channel is off air. When I'm looking
right now.
Yeah.
I also am going to go ahead
stream.
and see. I finished that book before you.
Oh, is that right? Because Right,
and you got it already. That's what I'm saying.
I have it.
You have a till
Let me lay
December
out
3rd head start.
Let me lay out my Thanksgiving holiday. I have. Of course,
that is right. Thanksgiving, you might get me.
I do have the family to deal with. I do have 10 more submitted films, 6 of which are full length. I have to watch over the week, and just so I can stay ahead of whatever else may come in.
Right. Yeah.
And listen to me. I'm like, the film fest.
Oy vey.
The write-up in Variety, right?
Yeah. Well,
about Boogie House.
No. Well, Chattanooga Film Fest got mentioned because Chris and Amy Darling have a company called Good Film Fund.
I pulled it up on the app, on the Ustream app, and it's live.
Okay, because I'm on here right now.
It's
okay, here it goes. It's going now.
Okay.
Ooh,
cool.
Look.
I said check.
Apple TV.
Tell Gina to put it on Apple TV.
She can watch us.
That's awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and.
Chris and Amy Darling have a. They started a little offshoot of the film fest. They're both of their film festivals called Good Film Fund, where they've backed a couple projects.
Cool.
So.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I guess I might read that other guy's book and then Tyler, since I still have till December to go. Since I'm one of the
Drew,
I'm one of the unlucky few.
You're gonna beat me on this.
I still think I will.
Book reading.
But we'll see.
You wouldn't even get yours till December 3rd.
That's what minor things like little red lines between words and like just super minor things, but I had to fix those. So the manuscript is done. But
no, I like that. I like that. I have a collector's edition.
You do, and I'll sign that. So like, I'm not saying I'm gonna be. If anyone ever cared about this book, then you'd be like, I had one before thing.
Hey, you never know. This shit. Nobody. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
And I will be brutally honest in my Amazon review. Don't fret.
Thanks.
I will.
Please.
Hey,
don't.
I appreciate you putting giving me a shout out in the thank yous.
Oh, you're welcome.
I don't know the author. But
I may be biased, but this guy blows.
It's why I never read independent book reviews, because I'm like, this is your sister writing this. Like, I've read a lot of books in my life, and this is a 5 out of 5 for sure.
I didn't think I'd like it because I usually don't like books like this, but
well, it means a lot.
House letters.
It means a lot to me. I'm very flattered by all the attention I've received.
Cool.
So
when's your AMA?
That'd be awesome.
Have you posted it to Reddit? Like, have you told people on Reddit? Like, have you gone, hey, look, I just published this book.
I'm kind of scared of doing that.
Brian's about to do it right now. You realize?
Like, I'm not doing that. I wouldn't.
It makes me want to bite my fingernails. The idea of me putting it out in front of those assholes. Like, hey, because they even have a wrote a book subreddit, but no one ever comments on it, which might even be worse than people going like, I read it and hated it. Fuck you.
I've never commented on one of these, but
but this book is so shitty.
I never thought it would happen to me, but a friend wrote a book.
So the thing with I tried not to. I was going to not say that the actually paperback book was ready to go, but Kay's like, you have to, like, it's published, like, you have to tell people. Plus, it'll take shipping.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I'll beat you because I'm going to read it on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Unless I get really bored, then I'm going to be like, fuck this guy.
The formatting stuff is really weird. Like, the book looks great on iPad and regular Kindle, but for some reason, the Kindle Fire, like, the formatting looks fucked up. There's no way you can go in and, like, individualize it. You can't say, like, I want it to look different for the Kindle Fire.
Well, good thing I have a Paperwhite.
I tell you what, Drew, once you get that digital file,
I'm
gonna log in as you and steal Tyler's book on Calibre.
It's only 99 cents if you buy the paperback
little taste
edition.
of his own medicine there.
If you buy the paperback edition, the Kindle version's only 99 cents.
So since I bought
wish
it,
I'd known that before I bought the.
Yeah, because I could totally have given you a 99-cent download.
I was just gonna say I would have. Well,
Hey, who's the better friend? I paid like $14 for my book.
Yeah, you guys are both good.
I pre-ordered as soon as I saw I could.
I was waiting for the hard copy. Get in on this.
The hard copy?
Hard copy.
The dick copy.
The dilk.
What? I wish we had like an actual. I wish I could remember our stream. Like, I wish it was easy.
I can send it to you.
I think from the app I can just share it. Like, let's see. Boom. Nope.
Do you have any copies of the book you can hold up right now?
Well, Kate's is in the bedroom. She's reading it.
You can hold it beside your face.
I know. No, but
I keep all of our links handy.
Good. Oh, cool.
All of our Jack links.
Yes.
Yum. So
become the unofficial like link holder for the film festival too. So I'm always like, do you have this? Yes, here it is.
You're always holding links.
I'm always.
I'm thinking about buying a poster to put on the wall behind me of the Horrible Podcast logo, and just have it right there.
That'd be.
It's better than that hole.
I know.